For more than 2 decades, Google built one of the most powerful business empires in history. Need information? Google. Looking for a website? Google. Researching a product? Google. Planning a trip? Google. Searching for almost anything online usually started in the same place. Google became so dominant that millions of people began using its name as a verb. The company wasn't just leading the search market. For many people, it was the internet. That dominance created an extraordinary business. Every day, billions of searches generated enormous advertising revenue. Businesses paid to appear in front of users. Google connected people with information, and the system worked remarkably well. But today, Google faces a challenge unlike any it has encountered before: artificial intelligence. Not because AI is another product category, not because it's another tech trend, but because AI has the potential to change how people find information itself. And that raises one of the biggest questions in technology. Can Google protect its empire from AI? To understand why this matters, it's important to understand what made Google powerful in the first place. Google succeeded because it became the starting point for information. Whenever people had a question, they opened a browser and searched. Google organized the internet, delivered links, and helped users find answers. The model was simple, effective, and incredibly profitable. But AI is introducing a different experience. Instead of providing a list of links, AI can generate direct answers. Users can ask questions conversationally, receive summaries, get recommendations, and continue asking follow-up questions without leaving the conversation. That may sound like a small difference, but for Google, it's potentially a massive one. Because if people stop searching the way they used to, the foundation of Google's empire could change. This doesn't mean search is disappearing. Far from it. Billions of searches still happen every day. But user expectations are evolving. People increasingly want answers rather than links. They want convenience, speed, and simplicity. Google understands this. In fact, few companies understand it better. That's why the company has invested heavily in artificial intelligence. Google isn't ignoring the threat. It's trying to become part of the solution. The company is integrating AI directly into search, adding AI-generated summaries, developing conversational search experiences, and rethinking how information is presented. The goal is obvious. If users want AI-powered answers, Google wants those answers to come from Google. But protecting an empire is much harder than building one. The challenge Google faces is unique. Most companies trying to disrupt an industry don't already dominate it. Google does, and that creates a difficult balancing act. The company must innovate aggressively enough to compete in the AI era. At the same time, it must protect the business model that generates most of its revenue. That is not an easy task. Every major change to search carries risks. If users interact differently with search results, advertising behavior may change. Traffic patterns may change. Publisher relationships may change. The economics of the internet may change. Google must modernize without accidentally weakening the foundation of its own empire. Another challenge comes from competition. For years, Google operated from a position of overwhelming strength. Today, AI is creating new opportunities for rivals. Users have more ways to find information, more ways to research products, more ways to solve problems. Competition isn't just coming from traditional search companies anymore. It's coming from AI platforms, digital assistants, and entirely new categories of technology. That creates pressure. For perhaps the first time in years, Google is facing meaningful challenges to its position as the default gateway to information. This doesn't mean Google is losing, but it does mean the company can no longer rely on old advantages alone. The rules are changing. Technology itself is also changing the equation. Artificial intelligence requires enormous computing power, massive data centers, advanced chips, and huge infrastructure investments. Google has significant advantages here. The company already operates one of the world's largest technology infrastructures. It has decades of experience managing data at scale. It has world-class engineering talent, and it has the financial resources needed to invest aggressively. These advantages matter, Because AI isn't just about software, it's about infrastructure. And few companies possess infrastructure as powerful as Google's. That gives the company a strong foundation for the AI era. Another reason many analysts believe Google remains well-positioned is data. Google interacts with billions of users across search, maps, email, video, cloud services, and mobile devices. These products generate enormous amounts of information about how people interact with technology. That understanding can help improve AI systems. It can help personalize experiences, and it can help Google respond to changing user behavior. In many ways, Google's scale remains one of its greatest strengths. But scale alone doesn't guarantee success. History is full of dominant companies that struggled when technology changed. Industry leaders often assume their position is secure. Then, new technologies alter customer behavior. And suddenly, old advantages become less valuable. Google understands this risk. That's why the company is moving so aggressively into AI. Executives know they cannot assume the future will resemble the past. They must earn their position again. Perhaps the most interesting part of this story is that Google's greatest threat and greatest opportunity may actually be the same thing: artificial intelligence. AI could reduce the importance of traditional search, but it could also create entirely new ways for Google to serve users. It could strengthen products, improve productivity, create new services, and unlock new revenue opportunities. The company is essentially racing to ensure that if AI changes the internet, Google remains at the center of that change. That's the real battle taking place, not whether AI will transform search. Most people already agree that it will. The question is, who benefits most from that transformation? Can Google evolve fast enough? Can it protect its business model while reinventing it? Can it remain the starting point for information in a world increasingly driven by AI? Those are the questions that will define the next chapter of Google's story. So, can Google protect its empire from AI? The honest answer is that nobody knows yet. But what is clear is that Google is not standing still. The company is investing billions, rebuilding products, expanding infrastructure, and adapting its strategy for a rapidly changing world. Because Google understands something important. The greatest threat to its empire isn't artificial intelligence itself. It's failing to evolve as artificial intelligence changes the world around it. And in the technology industry, survival has always belonged to companies that adapt before they are forced to. The next few years may reveal whether Google can do exactly that.